Yeah, hi there. And I saw your email. I just read it a few minutes ago, so I pasted it into Microsoft Word so I can answer it without revealing your identity. I forgot to tell you who I am. I am Michael Buckoff from OTCOnlineTOEFLCourse.com. So in the email that you sent me, you say I have an October TOEFL exam. I'm going to change this here. I have an October TOEFL exam. And I'm so scared. I would say so scared about the TOEFL reading section. I saw your email on some website, and you said in it that you help with the TOEFL. So what should I do? How should I study it? Wow, it's such a broad question. So I would say right now, based on your question, if I were you, I would cancel your TOEFL exam in October. It doesn't sound like in any way you are ready to take this test. That's my first suggestion. It's $200. Why spend $200 to find out you're not ready? So that would be my first step. Okay, so let's deal with your email on two levels. I want to talk about how to improve your reading first so that you have more confidence when you take the TOEFL exam. And then two, I'm going to talk about the right way to study TOEFL, how you can do that. Okay, so reading. Reading is important. So there's at least 5 things you have to do here, and I'm going to tell you which one is most important right here. You should do extensive reading for about 45 minutes every day. If you cannot do that, then do not take the TOEFL exam. Now, extensive reading means you find newspapers, magazines, and books in English geared toward adult educated learners. Read about 45 minutes every day. That's your first step. That's the best thing you can do. Now, number 2 is to build your vocabulary. You need to improve your vocabulary. I really believe that if you have about 1,700 college words in your brain, right? You study those. I think that's a great start. Go to Better TOEFL Scores. You can click on my vocabulary sources and you can get my vocabulary PDF. It's free. It's over 260 pages of vocabulary practice. Get that list. That's my next suggestion. Number 3, you need to increase, and you don't see anybody talking about this stuff. I don't know what's going on out in the TOEFL world, but you need to increase your reading speed to about 350 words per minute with at least a 60% comprehension. That means that you should be able to read 350 words a minute, and if you take a practice test on that reading passage, you need to be able to score around 60%. So that's my third suggestion. Number 4, you need what we call TOEFL reading skills and strategies. Now, notice this is number 4, not number 1. Number 4 does not take the place of number 1. The most important thing you can do is just sit down and read, and read some more. 45 minutes every day. If you do it for about 2.5 months, don't ask me why. I don't understand the brain. But I do know that if you do the reading practice for about 2.5 months, you can get anywhere from a 7 to a 10-point improvement in the reading section. This is assuming that your reading is already pretty low. Now, if your reading is already 28, I wouldn't expect any improvements at all. But you'll definitely improve a lot if your reading right now is around 13 or 14 points out of 30. It'll really, really help you. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5 is to take TOEFL level reading practice test. Notice this is number 5, YouTubers, not number 1. You can take TOEFL practice tests all day long, but if you're not practicing reading every day, if you haven't built your vocabulary and you haven't increased your reading speed, you're going to get stuck and you'll end up in TOEFL hell. I'm telling you, you got to do all 5. So to answer your first question is, if you do these 5 things for 2.5 months, you will not be scared of the reading section of the TOEFL exam. That's it. I guarantee you that. I've been teaching TOEFL for 30 years. Look how old I am. For 30 years. Okay, now the next step is, how do you correctly study for the TOEFL? You say, how do I study it, right? Okay, so the first thing is before you do anything, you have to take a TOEFL level practice test. Or maybe you've already wasted your money and you spent $200 and you took the TOEFL, the official TOEFL exam. That's important. So step 1 is you have to take a TOEFL level practice test. You need to know what your overall score is right now on the TOEFL exam. You also need to know what your subtotal reading, listening, speaking, and writing subtotal scores are. You need to know that. Now, once you know that, the question is, what do you need to do now? What is your target score? Right? So based on what your target score is and based on what your current TOEFL score is, then you can do number 2. You need to choose a course. That's step 2. It's very easy. Now here's what you can expect. You should use this rule: 5 to 10 points of improvement per month. That's what we're talking about. It means if your score right now is 80 and you want to get 100 on the TOEFL exam, you're looking at approximately maybe 2 to 4 months. So I think a 3-month TOEFL course, 3 months of studying TOEFL would be appropriate if your score is 80 right now and you want to score 100. Right? So that's your next step, is to choose a course. Number 3, study the recommended lessons in your course for the recommended period of time. So if you choose a 1-month course, that means you only need about 5 to 10 points of improvement right now. If you choose a 3-month course, you're probably looking for approximately 10 to 20 points of improvement. So the 3-month course probably is going to work pretty well for you on that. Okay, so once you've gone through all the lessons, remember though, TOEFL is not just, I'm going to watch a bunch of videos. Are you kidding me? That gets you nowhere. The only way you're going to get better on the speaking and the writing is you have to actually do speaking and writing practice. You need to get some feedback. So make sure you choose a course that allows you to get feedback, right? And then number 3, once you've gone through that TOEFL course for the recommended period of time, complete another TOEFL level practice test. Now, when I'm saying a TOEFL level practice test, I'm not talking about something that you find at YouTube. I'm talking about something you have to buy. It takes you 3 hours to take the practice test. The speaking and writing tasks will be graded by someone who's qualified to give you a score, who knows how to interpret the rubrics, and can look at your speaking and writing tasks and accurately score them. That's what I'm talking about. That's number 3. So you complete another TOEFL level practice test, a full-length practice test. If that practice test score is similar to what your target score is, you're now ready to take the TOEFL exam. So those are the steps. Find your level, choose your course, then complete a practice test at the end of that course, and then if everything looks good, then register to take the official TOEFL exam. What I'm telling you here, this will save you from having to take and retake the TOEFL over and over and over and over. Who the heck wants to do that? That's a nightmare. You don't want to do that. You want to choose your course, go through the course, get the feedback, finish all the lessons, then take the practice test. If everything looks good, then you register to take the official TOEFL exam. And that's it. So thank you for watching the video. I hope I've given you some good ideas on how you can improve your reading and also how you can effectively prepare for the TOEFL exam without having to take the test over and over and over. All right. And for more information, you can go over to my TOEFL blog at bettertoeflscores.com.